kahit anong upuan from TT Racing, pili lang daw ako and I can review it. I have my priorities all screwed up, so I chose based on looks, but to be fair, this chair is really a looker, the Aeroflex. I love the blue color, I love the sleek design, it has curves in all the right places. But did I make a mistake choosing with my eyes instead of my butt? Anuin mo yung magandang upuan kung hindi naman siya komportable. Buti na lang the Aeroflex is actually very comfortable, with a very deep, supported recline and back support, which is just right, so it holds you in place without pushing your gut forward. The brand did send us this item for review but had no say in what we had to say about it. We do have a lot to say, starting with the cons, because this chair, while beautiful, was not the best assembly experience. We tried to review a chair a month, and every chair I assemble myself. Sa simula, I had high hopes that this would be the easiest assembly because there are noticeably fewer parts than other chairs. In theory, all you need to do is slot in the backrest and screw it in. It turned out to be one of the most frustrating assemblies because A, unclear instructions, and B, factory defects. The instructions tell you to screw in the spine of the chair to the back first before screwing in the sides. That is wrong. You should screw in the sides first before the spine. Bakit? If you follow the instructions and do the spine first, the backrest cannot pitch forward all the way since its movement is already restricted by the long screw you put in. And if you can't pitch the backrest all the way forward, you will not have enough room to screw in the sides. Tatama yung Allen wrench while you're trying to screw in the sides. What you should do is slot in the chair, tilt it forward all the way as far as it can go, and then screw in the sides. You will have enough room to turn the Allen wrench freely. And then you screw together the spine and the backrest with the long screw I mentioned. Itong long screw na yan, nakakalito rin yan. At first, I didn't know how to use it. Again, hindi ulit malinaw yung instructions. You need to unscrew the screw, then insert the long shaft between the spine and the backrest, and then screw in the crown part. Now, all of that seems straightforward enough, but it took me quite a while to figure it out. Nakailang balik tanggal ako ng backrest and unscrewing things. To be honest, I'm not that good of a handyman, but I do have a lot of experience assembling chairs. From uy, mukhang madali, to dang, this is hard. So those are the problems with the instructions. What made things even more confusing was a factory defect. In the instructions, it's not clear how you screw in the sides, but I figured it out eventually. Only to find out that one side was not screwing in. The screw would turn, pero wala siyang kinakapitan. This drove me insane. I was stumped because one side was screwing in, so tama naman yung pagkaintindi ko ng mga butas and where everything goes. Except, yun nga, ayaw mag-screw in. Frustration, kailangan ko ulit tanggalin yung backrest. Finally, I discovered that it wasn't screwing in because there was no hole. Yun yung factory defect. The other side, malinaw na may butas, but the side that was giving me trouble, there was a dimple, an indentation na naka-raise yung plastic, but no actual hole. So I jammed the Allen wrench upward. At first, ayaw bumigay yung plastic. Instead of a steady hammering motion, which is what I first tried to do, it had to be one quick, sudden thrust. Then the plastic popped off, and there was the hole I needed. And since we're on the subject of factory defects, the nicely embossed Aeroflex, which is at the junction of the spine and the backrest, is askew. Tagilid siya. It's noticeably orienting downwards to the right. Anyway, making a hole was the last hurdle. Everything assembled fine after that. Buti na lang. Assembly was needlessly frustrating. Buti na lang the chair experience is definitely worth it. The seat itself is firm without being too hard that it becomes uncomfortable after prolonged periods of use. You can sit and sit and sit in this thing for a long time with no discomfort at all. Also, whatever material they use, TT Racing indicates that it's a kind of foam. It seems more solid compared to some of the other chairs I've tried with a mesh seat. Yung mga mesh kasi I'm afraid will slacken and soften over time. This chair though looks like it will hold its shape. The recline is wonderful. You know I love reclining in chairs and this has a deep recline. Maybe not as deep as some other chairs I've tried, but definitely deep enough that I can stretch out and be comfortable. More than the depth of the recline is the feeling. It's like you're suspended in all the right places. Your upper back, shoulder area is leaning well into the mesh backrest, and that close contact extends pretty much all the way down your spine. The tension of the recline is just right. Really, when you're lying back and things are quiet, you almost feel like you're floating. Great stuff. I really enjoyed the recline on the Aeroflex. The top of the armrests feel like suede, although TT Racing calls the material velour. I love how soft they feel against the skin of your arms. And they don't feel hot. My PC room/home office is not aircon, so I use this under strict only fan conditions. You know I'm a big fan of only fans. The chair does not make you feel hot or doesn't emphasize the heat to the parts of your body which are in contact with it. Yung issue ko lang sa armrests, they are a bit stiff. They're a bit hard to bring up and down. The sitting position is also very good. Actually, the most comfortable I've been in a default state. Most of the time kasi with chairs, your body has to get used to them because the chair wants you in a certain position, while your body wants to slouch in a completely different way, maybe for me. And it takes a little while for your body to get used to the chair. With the Aeroflex though, the default state is the same state as what my body wants to be in. So there was no need to get used to it. So simula pa lang, very comfortable na siya. In particular, my annoyance with fancy chairs usually is that the lower back support is too aggressive. So it pushes you a little in the back, which makes your stomach, your gut, uncomfortably spill out or push out too. And that's my problem with the Aeron. I have to sit up really straight, otherwise I feel like my gut is just all over the place. And to be fair, it's not even like I have a lot of gut to start with. With the Aeroflex, my natural position is also the same position the chair wants me to be in. So there is no uncomfortable push here or awkward angle there, which requires me to shift my body weight. It's as simple as sit in chair, everything good, get to work. Headrest is good, especially as support for your neck when you're reclining. As I mentioned before, the comfort of the seat was spot on for me. Its size though was a little limiting at first. It's around standard size, but I got used to the larger size of the Sihu Zalking X5C, which was my daily seat before the Aeroflex. No biggie as I adjusted to the narrower seat base of the Aeroflex, which again is around the standard size. Yung X5C, yung malaki talaga yung seat area. Speaking of the X5C, that chair was also very impressive, but its max height was a bit low. That's not a problem with the Aeroflex, whose height is perfect for my setup. Last comparison with the X5C, the size of the Aeroflex's headrest is fine, but it's not as broad, hindi siya kasing wrap around as the one on the X5C. So on camera, especially for tight shots of the person's face, the head basically covers most of the headrest. Not an issue at all for most people, but for streamers or people who spend a lot of time on camera where the chair is visible, the Aeroflex does not stand out. And it's a bit hard to position your head sakto in between the center of the headrest. The X5C is the chair I found which people really ask, uy, ano yung upuan na yan? After seeing parts of it in my other videos. Viewers often ask for my measurements, and that's a good question since what works for my build might not work for you. I'm around 140 pounds or 63.5 kilograms and 5 feet 9 inches, around 175 centimeters. TT Racing recommends the Aeroflex for anyone below 125 kilograms and between 150 to 180 centimeters. The chair has a 2-year warranty for mechanical parts. This is a beautiful chair, especially in blue. One of the most striking chairs I've seen for its elegant simplicity. All of this, the looks, the luxury, the comfort, does come at a price. Currently, it's around 16,000 pesos. That's a bit steep for the local market. Usually, people are looking to get a chair in the 8,000 to 10,000 peso range. Medyo mataas na nga yan. Your budget is your budget. I think the premium price point is worth it for a premium chair, which the Aeroflex certainly is. And if you do decide to buy the Aeroflex, I don't think you'll be disappointed. Most of its flaws are self-inflicted, but they can be remedied, especially by the quality control end of TT Racing. I mentioned the Sihu Zalking X5C earlier, and that was my main chair because I really liked it after I reviewed it. But I'm shifting the X5C to just my on-cam chair because my main chair, the one I work in, play in, and sit in for hours on end, is now blue, and when I recline, it's like I'm floating in the air. Thanks for watching.